Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So in this particular one we're going to finish off with our third of the three unboxings of the Planechase 2012 decks, which I sort of rediscovered when I was doing the Saturday morning nostalgia episode on Planechase 2012. I keep wanting to say 2013, I mean 2012. So this is the deck with Thromok the Insatiable. So it's the Primordial Hunger deck, and it's Devour Mechanic. It's red-green, as with all the other decks. It has a 60 card deck in this pack, 10 planar cards, a 6-sided planar die, a deck box, a Planechase strategy insert with multiplayer rules, and a learn to play guide. And so there are a number of new cards in these decks, and one of those cards was actually in all of the decks because it had relevance to the planar die that was utilised in the deck. So we'll do first of all okay, so here's our Planechase cards, and we'll take a look at these first of all because this is obviously one unique aspect of the pack. So our first one is a Jund. It's a Jund card, and it's on the plane of Alara. Whenever a player casts a black, red or green creature spell, it gains Devour 5. As the creature enters the battlefield, its controller may sacrifice any number of creatures. The creature enters the battlefield with 5 times that many +1/+1 counters on it. And under the Chaos section, because on this what happens is when you have to roll the Chaos die, you can see there's a 6-sided die, has a Chaos symbol on one of those sides and a Planeswalker symbol on the other, and this is obviously relevant to the rules for the Planechase game. So under the Chaos section, whenever you roll a Chaos symbol, put 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens onto the battlefield. Furnace Layer on the plane of New Phyrexia. When you planeswalk to Furnace Layer or at the beginning of your upkeep, select target player at random. That player discards a card. If that player discards a land card this way, he or she loses 3 life. Under the Chaos section, whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, you may destroy target non-land permanent. Kilnspire District on the plane of Ravnica. When you planeswalk to Kilnspire District or at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, put a charge counter on Kilnspire District, then add red to your mana pool for each charge counter on it. If you roll Chaos, the Chaos symbol, whenever you roll Chaos you may pay X. If you do, Kilnspire District deals X damage to target creature or player. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature if you can't planeswalk. Whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, any number of target players each put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield, and that's the Lair of Ashen Idol on the plane of Asgol. A Roki colony on the plane of Kamigawa. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, target creature is unblockable this turn. Prav on the plane of Ravnica. If you cast a spell this turn, you can't attack with creatures. If you attack with creatures this turn, you can't cast spells. Whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, you gain life equal to the number of cards in your hand. Selesnya Loft Gardens on the plane of Ravnica. If an effect would put 1 or more tokens onto the battlefield, it put twice that many of those tokens onto the battlefield instead. If an effect would place 1 or more counters on a permanent, it places twice that many of those counters on that permanent instead. Whenever you roll the Chaos symbol, till end of turn, whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of your mana pool of any type that land produced. Tenstencia on the plane of Innistrad. Whenever a creature deals damage to one or more players for the first time in a turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever you roll the chaos symbol, each creature you control gains tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target player until end of turn. Reality Shaping is a phenomenon card. When you encounter Reality Shaping, starting with you, each player may put a permanent card from his or her hand onto the battlefield and planeswalk away from this phenomenon. Spiral Merging, the second phenomenon card in this these 10 Planechase pack Planechase cards. When you encounter Spatial Merging, reveal cards from the top of your planar deck until you reveal 2 plane cards. Simultaneously planeswalk to both of them. Put all other cards revealed this way on the bottom of your planar deck in any order. Okay, so let's have a look at the planar deck. The other thing to remember with this, and it does mention this actually in the rules, you don't necessarily have to use one of these pre-con decks if you want. You can use your own deck. I imagine with the theme of the deck and the sort of tokens, in this case tokens counters it produce, obviously the Planechase cards have been selected or tweaked, designed in such a way that they're very synergistic with this particular deck. But there's nothing to say you can't either modify the deck or play something completely different, you know, of your own design. As with all the inserts, each of the inserts actually contains a deck list and a play guide for all 4 decks, basically. You can see there. And there were a number of new cards in each deck, and I think I mentioned at the start of the video, one of those cards was in all of the decks because it was particular to the whole Planechase idea and the planar die. So you have a setup section on this, which actually just describes how you get ready for the normal game of Magic, and how, you know, the setup, it might be different from how you would normally play Magic when you're playing like a multiplayer free-for-all. 3 to 6 people. You can play 2 players if you want. How to use your planar deck in the context of a game and how the die works. What happens when you roll the different symbols, or what happens when you roll nothing, which is nothing happens. And then how you win the game, just in case there's anything else there that is and you know, in any multiplayer game you have to cater for the fact that people are going to get knocked out in the duration of the game. So there's obviously things to consider on that front. Because each one of the players has their own phenomenon, their own Planechase deck. You know, these ones, I'll have each player will have a set of these that they use. Okay, so I'm going to go through these as usual, and then what I'll do is I'll just flag up for particular attention the rares in here. So we've got Tuckatung Thallid, and there's a couple of those. Brindle Shout, a couple of those. There's a Nest Invader in here. Viridian Emissary, a couple of those. Wall of Blossoms. You'll notice there only ever seems to be, you know, the maximum amount of repeats is there's only 2 of, I think, the maximum, isn't it? There doesn't seem to be any more than that in a particular deck, and that obviously adds a good deal of variance to these decks as well. Hissing Iguana, Mud Button Torch Runner, a couple of those. We've got a Thunder Thrash Elder, a couple of those in here. Gluttonous Slime. You can see a number of cards here already with Devour on it. That's the theme of the deck. Null Mage Advocate, Thorn Thrash Viashino, Beetleback Chief, a couple of those, Penumbra Spider, Hellkite Hatchling. It's difficult to see with that. That was an uncommon. So my Totic Slime is in here, 4 and a green, 4/4 creature ooze. When my Totic Slime dies, put 2/2 green ooze creature tokens onto the battlefield. They have, when this creature dies, put 2/1/1 green ooze creature tokens onto the battlefield. Mycoloth, 3 and 2 green, 4/4 creature fungus with Devour 2 on it. So as it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with twice that many 1/1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a 1/1 green sapling creature token onto the battlefield for each +1/+1 counter on Mycoloth. Thromok the Insatiable. So this is our lead legendary in the deck. 3 red green, so it's on colour in this deck. This isn't like EDH Commander, where in that the commander is obviously has to be on colour for the deck. With this, it's just like a regular Magic deck. So they just happened to put key lead cards that were legendary, and I think it was 3 out of the 3 out of the 4 decks were the legendary was also the colour of the deck. The exception was the Wooburg Cascade deck, Chaos Reigns. So Thromok the Insatiable, 3 red green legendary creature, Helion, Devour X, where X is the number of creatures devoured this way. I wonder if you could build a Helion tribal. I wonder if there's enough Helions in Magic to do that. Prey-Sizer Dragon, 4 2 red, 4/4 creature dragon with flying and Devour 2 on it. Whenever Prey-Sizer Dragon attacks, it deals damage to target creature or player equal to the number of 1/1 counters on Prey-Sizer Dragon. Dragonlair Spider, 2 red, 2 green, 5/6 creature spider with reach. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a 1/1 green insect creature token onto the battlefield. And we're moving on to our non-basics here. We've got Gruul Turf. There's a couple of those. Kazandu Refuge. So we've got original Ravnica block lands and Zendikar block lands. Another one here as well from Zendikar block. Culny Garden. Skarg the Rage Pit, so this is our red-green utility land here. We've got Terramorphic Expanse, which seems to be in all the decks. And then here's our regular basics. We've got our forests with a nice array of artwork here. And in a moment we should find our mountains. So some more stuff here. We've got Flayer Huskers in here, which was a living weapon. There's a couple of those. There's our deck card that's in all of the decks. The Fractured Power Stone, Fiery Conclusion, Fling, Mark of Mutiny, Awakening Zones in here. So 2 and a green. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a 0/1 colourless Eldrazi spawn creature token onto the battlefield. It has sacrifice this creature, add 1 to your mana pool. Interesting card to have, generating Eldrazi tokens, Eldrazi spawn, which in this particular deck with the Devour as well, you get some interesting utility going on there, in addition to being a way of generating mana. Fathers of Yavimaya is in here. Overrun, Helion Eruption, Warstorm Surge. So actually, I'm needing to skip that. So Helion Eruption is a 5 and a red sorcery. Sacrifice all creatures you control, then put that many 4/4 red Helion creature tokens onto the battlefield. Warstorm Surge, Another rare, 5 and a red enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals damage equal to its power to target creature or player. So there we have that deck. So that one was our red-green Primordial Hunger deck. So that one was the Devour theme deck. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.